It is 2024. Welcome to the Maximum Man podcast. So what does 2024 mean? It means a whole lot to a whole lot of people. And I want to kind of dive into that a little bit today as we get into this new series of Maximize Man podcasts. The first thing that I want to mention for me, what I've done lately is really kind of fine tune and really laser focus my goal for this podcast. And that is as follows. So my program's called Maximize Man Elite, and I deal with men over the age of 50. You know, there are younger guys in my program, but for the purposes of advertising and creating an avatar and having a very specific market that I'm going after, I work with men over 50 who have achieved a lot in life. Successful guys that have built businesses, guys that have grown families and now are having grandkids. So let's take a look at that for a second before I get into 2024 and what I think about New Year's resolutions and all of that, because I don't buy into all of that. But anyway, with respect to what I do as a fitness coach and as a guy who has maintained really a good body, given the fact that, you know, I've got this diagnosis as a side note. But other than that, I feel great. I feel very functional. I feel very aware and energetic, and I have no symptoms whatsoever. So I feel great. And I want every man to feel great. But what happens is men who have been successful in life, whatever that looks like for you, whether it's building a business, growing a family, getting out of a marriage that wasn't good and starting over again from scratch. Typically what happens with men in this position is you put yourself on the back burner. You find yourself in a position that you don't like the way you look. You don't have the energy you once had. You don't identify, to use those sorts of words, as the guy who was the dude in college or the guy in high school that was the wrestler or the football player or the band major guy, whatever it is that you did that really made you feel like that dude. So you're now wondering, how did I get here? Well, my thought, based upon the massive amounts of experience that I have coaching men, is you got there because you put yourself on the back burner. You did everything to take care of your family and your business and all of these things that you're responsible for. And I think that's badass. That really is a maximized man. But I don't think you're truly, truly successful in life unless you're walking around in a body that you're really, really proud of. So there's an opportunity here for us to really get real with ourselves and decide once and for all that a change is necessary. So New Year's is on us. By the time you listen to this or watch this on YouTube, wherever you're consuming this information at, there's a really good chance that your resolution came and went. You decided once and for all that this year you were going to do something different when you did it the year before and the year before and so on and so forth, because the reality is, and the truth is, if you made a resolution and it was the same resolution you made last year, you have to ask yourself, did I really resolve to do anything? Did I change enough habits in my life for long enough to create the outcome that I wanted? And it doesn't necessarily need to be your fitness. It could be your finances, it could be your relationship. And I can speak to that. I'll talk about that on another podcast. And I think that's really important, about doing the hard things as long as it takes to get the result that you want, not just for yourself, but for everybody in your circle. So that's another thing that you need to consider as it relates to putting yourself on the front burner or making yourself a priority. You're 50-something years old now. You have pretty much everything you want in life. You've got the house, you've got the car, the grandkids are coming along, and I'm jealous, honestly. I cannot wait for the day, and hopefully that opportunity comes up for me, having grandkids. You've accomplished all of this, but now you're sitting back going, okay, what do I do? How do I move forward without sacrificing all of this relationship that I have here? Well, you need to understand, getting fit doesn't take a lot of time, because it's not like you're on the treadmill for hours at a time. It's not the only thing that you're doing. You need to understand that there are 5 principles that I teach, and if you live by these 5 principles, it's not one singular focus or one myopic approach to getting fit, like eating less carbohydrates and doing my cardiovascular. It's not the way it works. So the time excuse is lame as far as I'm concerned. So the 5 principles are mindset, meals, movement, community, and integrity. If you live at a 7 or above in all of those, you can manage your life in a way where time doesn't become an issue and you're not taking away from all of these blessings that you have in your life. So understand that New Year's is not a magical day. There is no fairy dust that was sprinkled on you at midnight that night as you slept or partied or hugged everybody in your party or whatever it was that you were doing. Nothing magical happened. In looking back on history has proven that if your resolution is the same as it was last year. When we change, we need to stop doing certain things and start doing other certain things. It's called breaking habits and creating new habits. That's a whole topic for discussion that we could go over. Who knows how long it takes, 21 days, 200 days. The reality is, however long it takes you to stop doing whatever it was that has gotten you where you're at today, making excuses, not going to the gym, working too much, eating the wrong foods, living a stressful life where you're not managing that stress in a proper way. You have to dig down deep enough, long enough, consistently enough until you start modifying the things in your life that have led you down the path where you currently find yourself not happy in your body. Now, I'm on this because I talk to so many guys that tell me the same thing. Real quick story. I was just at my house. I called Jim here and I said, hey, I'm on my way. He said, give me a half an hour. I want to set up the cameras. Doesn't look great here, by the way. This studio is so fantastic and got these great cameras and microphones. This is a really high quality production because we want to bring value to you. So he said, wait a half an hour before you come. And it just so happened that a couple buddies of mine showed up at my door. I saw them walking up. My dog started barking and going off. And I see 2 guys walking up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Steve, Colin, hey. And I sat in my house and I talked to them. Now, both of these guys I've known for 30 years. And throughout the 30 years, the majority of the time, both of them have said, Clark, I really want to get in shape. I need to get in shape. I know I should get in shape. In every conversation around improving their health. Now, I didn't say get ripped. I didn't say be on a magazine cover. I didn't say show off and be in a bodybuilding contest. I said improve their health because between the 2 of them, I would have to say that they are probably 250 pounds overweight, admittedly, to their own admission. They want to lose probably 100 pounds on one and 50 or maybe equal between the 2 of them. It doesn't matter. They know they need to improve. So as I sat there and listened to them, the first thing they said was, I didn't know whether or not I could come to your house because I felt bad because I quit on you the last time I started your program. Well, welcome to the reality of fitness. So many men have started my program, and unfortunately, statistically, a lot of men will quit before they get the results. Now, I happen to have a lot higher of a retention than most coaching programs do because I'm so hands-on. I have such a great community. But for whatever reason, well, they told me the reason. They said they just can't eat right. And I said, well, you can eat right. You just choose not to eat right. That's the reality of it. They know what to do. They know how to do it. It's not any more expensive to eat right. It's just a choice that they made. So the son looked at me and I could tell he was getting a little bit flustered, not by anything that I said. It was by something that he told me. He said, Clark, I have a hard time talking to you because you're so motivated. And it brought a smile to me because that's the effect that I want to have on people. I want my friends to be around me and one, feel guilty if they didn't do what they knew they should have done, especially if I had them in my program and then they didn't follow through and they knew they should have followed through. They should absolutely feel bad when they see me. But they should never feel like they don't belong around me. Because when they came up, the first thing I did was stand up and smile, gave them a big hug, a kiss on the cheek, and I was so happy to see them because I love them and they're my friends. But at the same time, I don't want that to not put pressure on them because they see something in me that they wish they had in themselves. I want to be the guy that's in the room that puts pressure on people by the way I look, by the way I act, by the way I talk, and you can have that same effect. You can have that exact same effect because the reality is somebody has to. So as I close this segment of the Maximize Man podcast, I want you to think about whatever resolution you made and reframe it. Don't think of it as a resolution. Think of it as a decision to take action, to do something different consistently until you get the result that you want. And when that result comes, you will have changed or modified, improved, or readjusted the habits that you had that were holding you back. You have this in you. You can do it. I'm no better, you're no worse. I'm no more disciplined, I'm more consistent. That's the only difference. And I am in a groove. I found my laser focus. I know why I'm doing this. I found a why that makes me cry. I want the same for you. Comment below, ask your questions. I'll definitely get back to you. And I want to know what it is. One, that you want to hear on this podcast. Two, how I can help you. Three, talk to you if you're interested in coaching. There's links in the bio. Make sure you give this page a follow, share it with somebody else, set your notifications and all that sort of stuff, because my intention, as my focus gets more and more laser pinpointed on helping men become maximized, helping men get to the place where they want to go. Now, look, I don't think I have it all together. Next episode, I want to talk about marriage and some of the struggles that I've had. So make sure that you tune in, because I'm going to be honest and real and open and share with you some of the things that I'm doing to hang in there and push through, no differently than you might need to hang in there and push through with your fitness program. That's it. Until next time, make it a great day.